Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 103 of the Nomads of Fantasy podcast. I am your host for this evening, and my name is Eric, and I have with me Dave.
Are like a delightful random cruelty generator, Master, poisoning all you touch with your presence. You are a testament to all organic meat bags everywhere.
What's that one from?
Was that HK?
HK-47 from Knights
Yes.
of the Old Republic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, good. I knew it.
All right.
The meat bags gives it away. That's a great character, though, in the Star Wars universe.
One of the best, for sure.
Who else do I have with me? I have Brandon here with me as well.
I suggest a new strategy, Nomads. Let the Wookiee win.
Of course.
Good. Beautiful.
Tie-in.
Yeah, so we're obviously talking about Star Wars, but specifically talking about Star Wars video games. This is going to kind of be like a grab bag. We're talking about the history of Star Wars video games, our experiences with them, the good, the bad, all that stuff. It's kind of a retrospective on the whole of Star Wars video games up to this point. So we're going to do a little bit of a dive into that, but before we get into all that, I'm going to throw it over to Dave for the schedule.
Hey, sweet.
Hey!
Yes.
Like a radio host right now.
Oh, the news going over to the weather guy.
Hey, Dave, with the schedule.
And this week, we have Star Wars. Next week, we are getting into Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Giving ourselves another week to get in there. And
can't wait.
Hopefully get some time in. I got some hours to put in, boys.
I'm gonna be playing. I mean, I have been playing it most nights.
Starting tonight.
Up to this point. Yeah, Brandon, you got some work to do. To do.
Yeah, there's a lot of good internet stuff happening around Tears of the Kingdom though right now. It makes me laugh, makes me chuckle. It's good to see like I don't know, when everybody in the world is playing like one game, it's kind of cool to have like that giant communal experience with everybody. So
for sure.
Interested to get more into that. And then to start off June, we're gonna watch The Joker.
The Joker. I've never seen it.
Movie I haven't seen either. So should be an interesting one. I love me some comic book movies and interested to see the other side of the coin. See a bad guy movie. Sounds like fun. I don't know how I haven't seen that yet though, but
sure.
That's what you say, bad guy. I don't know.
Is he just misunderstood? Just a
misunderstood. Poor Joker.
I think Gotham City's the bad guy. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is true. It's just always crime, no matter what.
You ever think about it from the Joker's perspective? I mean, come on.
Well, it's Arthur Fleck, so he's not, like the version that we've seen. He's a different version of the concept of the Joker.
Okay. Well,
so
I've never seen it, so I'm excited to check it out. I know the
don't watch the trailer.
The internet's pretty divided on it, good or bad.
People really?
Yeah, people either, whenever they talk about it, people either love it or hate it. Like there's two opposite sides of the spectrum there.
Oh wow, I've been lucky. I've only met people who thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was great. People did like it.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
We'll find out.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Well, that's my calendar. Back to you.
All right.
In the news station.
Back over to me. And for me, we have some. We'll swing it over to the social section this week. We reached out on Twitter at Nomads of Fantasy and our Discord, the nomadsoffantasy.com/Discord. If you want to join there. Over on Twitter, we just said, what are some of the best Star Wars games to come out besides Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, since those are so recent and obviously they're great games.
Yeah.
Will you in fact eat that crust? Says it's got to be the Knights of the Old Republic games. I must have played through those two games half a dozen times each. Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah. I could see that. Those are good games. I played a little bit for this.
Our good buddy Jake says, I don't think I've played one that I didn't like, which is interesting. He also left a comment in our Discord, which we'll get to. Depachlorian, I don't know how to say that, at Kyber Culture says, I really liked the one in the upper right, which we posted a picture here. I think that's one of the GameCube Rogue Squadron games, which
that's
those ones I have not played, unfortunately. Those are some of the ones that passed me by.
I haven't either. I always wanted to. I think Dave has though.
But they say
back in the day.
But of course, all-time favorite is KOTOR.
Yeah, dude.
Loves some good old KOTOR.
The Derek Duvall
KOTOR.
show, KOTOR. The Derek Duvall show says Empire at War / Forces of Corruption. Perpetual Cinema says Rebel Assault 2: The Hidden Empire, which I have some things to say about that game. I brought it up
that's
with you guys. But yeah, that's one that I have some nostalgia for. Cold Boxer 04 says Dark Forces, giving us such a great character with Kyle Katarn and story that just worked so well, was a strong start. The gameplay as well, while not groundbreaking, was still solid and helped set the tone for much of the universe.
Yeah.
Nice. Good comment there. And Supreme Collector Nick says, oh man, me and my buddies used to play some epic matches of Battlefront 1 and 2 on split screen. So fun, the Planetary Conquest mode in particular.
Yeah.
And over on our Discord, like I said, we got a couple comments as well. One from Tejas says, definitely the ship games from the GameCube era. They are so much fun. Artie Fine says, Star Wars Dark Forces was one of my favorite first-person shooter games when FPS was still a young genre. Came around a couple years after Doom and pioneered some gameplay elements such as being able to aim up and down, duck, and jump. And then, Jake again in our Discord says, I used to play Galactic Conquest on Battlefront 2 non-stop when I was a kid. The real Battlefront 2.
The real
Battlefront 2. The OG.
And there are literally so many Star Wars games at this point that it's hard to fathom. Like, you can't play them all. It's kind of insane.
That's right. Yeah.
I think I saw a thing where since like 93 when Lucasfilms took over, they put out 119 games, I believe, which makes it like one of the, I think it's like four Star Wars games a year essentially on average have come out since like the early 90s, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
That is crazy.
But we can talk about all that stuff later.
Yeah, we'll get into that right after the break. My cat wants to get out, so I'm going to let her out.
I thought I heard a cat.
You might have heard that meow in the background, but I'm going to let her out, and we'll take a little break and come back and talk about some Star Wars video games right after this.
Go.
And we are back to talk about some Star Wars video games. I thought we'd start off way back at the beginning of when Star Wars video
A
games
long,
first,
long time ago.
long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away. A little toy company called Kenner. They had
Yes.
the official first licensed electronic game, Star Wars licensed first electronic game in 1979. Yes. And it was like I don't know if you guys have seen this thing. It's called Star Wars Electronic Battle Command, and it's like this like tabletop thing, and you like put it down, and it looks like, I don't know, like you're doing like Battleship with like it's just tiny little dots on a like grid. Nothing
Okay.
fancy, nothing special, but that's the first officially licensed one. Before that, there was
That
like
looks fancy.
some.
It looks like Battleship.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was
Like
like
that.
Battleship with Star Wars. But it was like a strategy sort of little tabletop game.
I was
But
expecting like one of those little like shitty handhelds with
like the Tiger electronic games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some of those.
Yep. It's similar to
Yeah,
that, but
those
it's
games.
like a whole unit, like a whole tabletop unit. But yeah, before that, I guess there was like a homemade Star Wars like Empire Strikes Back game, but the first home console game was actually Empire Strikes Back for the Atari 2600 in 1982. So that's the first home console Star Wars video game. And
I bet you that game was brutal.
I was watching a video earlier today about just the history of Star Wars video games, and they're kind of just going through the entire era. And yeah, it looked like an Atari game. You're in the little snow speeder, and you got the AT-ATs walking around, and you're just shooting them.
Oh, that I had that game on Atari growing up. That was Empire Strikes Back. Yes.
They
one.
started for some
It was
reason. I mean, it makes sense the time that it came out in 1982 that they would have started with Empire Strikes Back, which I guess is the best movie in the trilogy at that time. But just weird that they didn't start with the first Star Wars movie, because they went. I think that
Hey,
they went.
do
the
what's hot,
movie
you do
started
what's hot.
episode 4, so I mean.
Well, that's what they went. Empire Strikes Back, and then they went back and did a Star Wars game on Atari, and then they did Return of the Jedi. So they did 5, 4, 6
So
in game order
another
release.
another one I played on Atari. I think it must have been A New Hope, which was basically the practice droid and a
Right.
lightsaber, and you would just kind of
It's a Jedi
Arena.
yeah.
Is that the
Free
one
with the
there where
Atari
they're just waving
2600.
their lightsabers back and forth?
Basically,
Yeah.
it looks like looks
Light-
like some shitty.
Lightsabers,
Pong.
quote unquote. It's hard with those graphics. It's hard to discern what you're
Yeah,
looking
you really
at.
had to use your imagination.
It's so weird because, I mean, obviously you guys grew up in a different era than I did. We all loved
There's that.
Star Wars as kids, but I came out during, I was really into Star Wars when the prequels were, making their big debut. So naturally, at that age, 5, 6, 7, around there is when I started to get into video games. So that was kind of the era of Star Wars video games that I started with. Things on PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and there was like
There's some good stuff back then too.
there was a huge era of movie tie-in games when the prequels were
Mhm.
coming out. Which some of my favorite ones, I mean, one of my favorite Star Wars video games has to be the Revenge of the Sith video game.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if you guys have played that one on PlayStation 2, but it's
Oh.
actually really good, and there's like a legit like battle mode as well. Like, you can choose your character and face off against AI, or I think it was local multiplayer as well. So I could be like Dooku and you could be Obi-Wan, and we just fight each other, which was kind of a cool concept.
Pretty sweet.
But yeah, that was one of my favorites. And like I said, probably the earliest Star Wars game that I remember playing was Rebel Assault 2, which was the one that I brought up to you guys and that someone in the Twitter comments brought up. But I went back and played it semi recently, within the past, like, I don't know, 10 years, I would say, recently. And it's still fun. Like, it's like a novelty. It's little vignettes. It's not like a movie tie-in or anything. it kind of tells its own story with these FMV cutscenes. So in one level, you're this rebel pilot infiltrating this base, and you have a blaster and you're shooting stormtroopers. In another level, you're in a B-wing fighting off TIE fighters. And then the next level, you're in the Millennium Falcon, like flying through a cave, which was like the hardest level of any game I had ever experienced when I was a kid. Like I could never beat that level. But yeah, it's interesting. What about you guys? Where did you guys start in your history with Star Wars games?
Atari. I was born in the early 80s, and we had an Atari when I grew up, so we just had a whole box of Atari games, and I would play specifically that Empire Strikes Back game, and I just remember being the ship, and then we had the laser discs, and I would watch the movies, and I would play the game. It's like that was my exposure.
It's like you were right in there, right?
Star Wars. Yeah, we were all in.
I didn't have an Atari. I was a television kid, so I didn't get any of those. I think my first are like Nintendo, Super Nintendo has to be. And then any of the PC stuff, really those early 90s PC games.
Did you play Dark Forces?
Yeah, I think back in the day I remember Kyle and stuff like that. I haven't played those in ages though, but
I mean, I was probably like 12 years old when that game, 11 years old when that game came out, man. I loved that game. I was crushing that game.
So funny.
Yeah, dude, that game was a big deal to me when I was little.
I had a completely different experience with Dark Forces. Cause like it was such, it was good intentions. My dad knew I loved Star Wars, and he knew I loved video games. So I think he just went into GameStop and was looking for like used Star Wars video games, and he came home with Dark Forces for PlayStation 1. And I was so excited because
they put it on PlayStation?
Yeah, it came out for PS1. Yep. It was ported to PS1 after the PC release. But I remember I got that, I booted it up, and I was so disappointed because for one, I mean, when I was a kid, all I cared about was, lightsabers, like any other kid.
Oh, really? That was your big hang up?
That was my thing, yeah. So I was like, no lightsabers in this game? Nah, not for me.
Okay.
Yep.
It's very similar to those old school Wolfenstein Doom games. It really is. Yeah. It's so similar. Like,
I mean, that was the foundation for FPSs back then. So
back then, it was a big deal to have a room over a room. Imagine that. Because like if you play old school games, like the way they would do stairs is just like they would just erase the bottom floor, and they would just kind of go up, but you would never have a room underneath. And you could have like lifts and stuff like that, which is really just walk on this platform and it'll go up. And they were still doing that in Dark Forces. I was just playing it the other night, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna play too much of this game because while it feels good to see it again, I don't remember it like this. It's pretty ugly. It's really hard to see. Is that an officer on the other side of the room, or
where'd you play it?
The music is you can just stream it on your browser. Just
really?
Type Dark Force. Yeah.
Okay. I was curious if they ported it anywhere to like modern consoles or anything.
Yep. And but yeah, I don't know. I was just like, you know what? We'll just keep you in my memories. And but I did play a lot of that game. I beat it, and it was tough when I was a kid.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit with our retro video games episode, but there's a difference, between what you have in your memory and then when you actually go back to it. Like that nostalgia can definitely blind you a bit, because one of the games that I was nostalgic for was Masters of Teras. I don't know if you guys ever played that one, the Star Wars fighting game.
How is it though? Honestly, it's a good fighting game?
No, it's not.
At all?
It's not a good fighting game. It's clunky as hell.
How'd they fuck that up? How do you fuck up Star Wars fighting game?
It's so perfect for like a fighting game, but
do you have the list of characters up in front of you? Because
no, I was looking at the list of like best games for Star Wars, and this was at the bottom of it.
This game gets shit on a lot for sure, because it does. The idea of it is good. Like pitting your favorite Star Wars
Wars fighting
characters
game,
against each other. You know, you want to see Chewbacca and Han Solo fight? Sure. You want to see Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia fight?
Darth Maul,
Sure.
Princess Leia.
No.
I mean,
This was
we saw in what was the fighting game that had in Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur,
They had
had
all-
Yoda and
had,
Darth
like-
Vader.
Yeah, they had Yoda and Darth
But
Vader.
they were all platform specific, so you never got them
Right.
on the same platform, which was kind of tough. But like, you could see how it
PC.
could work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know
they
if
had
PC
like
got
they
it.
had Yoda on GameCube and Darth Vader on PlayStation or something like that, or
Yeah.
vice versa. But yeah, it was right. It was platform specific for those games. But yeah,
I mean,
the mechanics were not good. They were clunky. I also went back and played that one again and semi recently.
Imagine
in the last
if
10 years.
NetherRealm. Give it to NetherRealm.
Dude,
that's too much. I mean, with they just announced Mortal Kombat today.
I know.
really.
I mean,
And
they would do
seeing
it,
Crossover characters would be amazing. I
or
mean,
just
yeah,
like just
separate
put
separate game.
yeah,
it makes
yeah,
sense.
make its own game.
A Star Wars fighting game totally makes sense. Like you do want to see your favorite characters go up against each other. And I
But
think
you can grab shit and throw at the other guy.
Right.
The other can grab it and throw it back. You know, like you could do cool things with an extra trigger to like. Do
That's
force
why-
moves. And like no game has a force in it.
that's why the fighting mode in the Revenge of the Sith video game was so cool, because it was basically that. It was like a 3D fighter, because like Teras was on a 2D plane and you couldn't move in 3D space, but the Revenge of the Sith game was, and you could flip around and do all that stuff. So that's probably the closest thing that there is to like a Star Wars, a good Star Wars fighting game out there. And I know they made a couple like Clone Wars games as well. I remember like playing a browser game back in the day that was like,
Dude, think
Clone
about
Wars.
it. Think about it like with high fidelity graphics and like even though we're not big fans of the movie, but the last Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker, with the scene where Ben and Rey are fighting in the water.
Right?
But like imagine putting Darth Maul against Yoda or something like that on there instead, or like young Kenobi fights,
Absolutely.
Boba Fett or something like that. You could do sick
Make
settings.
incredible set pieces. Yeah, definitely. That would be really cool.
There's
Yeah.
one thing that I did write down was like what genres are like missing from the Star Wars like
They hit on
game
most of them.
universe.
mature. I think some mature stuff would be nice if they ever go
Yeah.
mature, but I
I was
don't
gonna
know
say,
if
what
they will.
what would you do with that? Like a Star Wars horror game?
I was thinking about like a Darth Vader video game where like you just go around hunting down Jedi and like
I mean, that would be
rebel
sweet.
scum and just like being just sent in on your own and just destroying shit. Like I don't know, it'd be
Be fun.
cool.
They do
You
have
couldn't
pretty
make a
much,
TV
I
show
mean,
because you'd have to like watch him talk and we don't want to see that.
Right.
We want to be Vader and do like the cool shit he did at the end of Rogue One. Like I want to do that, but let me believe that like the whole game. Just menacingly walk into a town and just scan the area and feel like that's it, and just go over there and
you
just
just want a Vader murder simulator.
rip
Right.
down like the
Well, it'd be
entire
like,
floor of a saloon.
It'd be like the Hitman games, but like you're not being sneaky. You're just fucking shit up.
Yeah, people are
You're searching for
cowering
your
when they see
target.
you and they run and hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you interrogate somebody, you can
Force
choke them
choke
to
'em.
death, let them go, throw them. Yeah, whatever. There's all these cool things you could do with Vader in a game. Give me something
True.
like that,
Be sweet.
But
They do have, I mean, fighting games is an underutilized thing. Like the RPGs, they're just the KOTORs. There is one that's coming out that I'm actually really excited about. It's the
Ubisoft's
Quantic Dream.
Oh,
they make the
Quantic
Heavy Rain.
Dream.
yes. It's like
Heavy
the
Rain,
narrative
Detroit Become Human,
narrative
like the
driven
narrative
story choice. Yeah.
based thing, and that one looks sweet. I mean, was announced
That
2
would be
years
awesome.
ago. It'd be fantastic to see, but there is some other stuff coming. I mean, like our Respawn has one coming out apparently that they're
Yeah.
working on, first person shooter,
Yeah.
of some kind.
They
You said is
I
Ubisoft
trust
making
that
one?
studio.
Ubisoft's making a big
thought
open
so.
world Star
Open
Wars
world,
game.
Yeah, I mean that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
they
Working
do.
on it,
Yeah.
And
Which-
Yeah.
you guys remember Project Ragtag? This is one of the high profile games that EA canceled and Amy Hennig was writing it and directing it. And she's like the writer in Uncharted and Jack and Daxter and stuff, where she was.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it was
Right.
like a single player narrative game, and this was like announced right at when Disney made that deal with EA to be like the exclusive maker
Yeah.
of Star Wars games for that
What
10-year
happened?
period. Just got
It got
canned.
canceled.
Got canned because they
Wow.
wanted to focus on like multiplayer experience. This was in the era where everybody was like, single player is dead and we need multiplayer in every single one of our games. So they just pulled all the
Battlefront,
resources for that.
right.
Exactly, and they focused on
Battlefront 1
Battlefront.
came out and it had no campaign. And
But
people got upset.
the why I bring that up is because last year they just announced that with Amy Hennig, they're partnering with Skydance, and they are making a single player narrative focused Star Wars game. So they sort of revived that project.
That's what
Fantastic.
I feel like that's what we want. I mean, you can do. I mean, I don't know where we're at with the timeline, but like in the early 2000s, I kind of missed it somehow. I think I got a 360 or whatever, but I missed Republic Commando on the original Xbox. And hot damn, that's a good game.
Yeah,
And,
we were just
people
talking about this
highly
the other day.
regard that game.
I am blown away how I want to say ahead of its time, because I think Halo Combat Evolved did way more with for the beginning of the Xbox. But for end of a generation game, it looks really good. The audio is incredible. The characters are fun. It feels like a clone, feels like Clone Wars material. I think it was the guy who did the voice for all the clones, like Jango Fett and all that stuff. But the music is so damn good. I don't know. It's
Like,
just all that.
we were both playing that on Series X, and like the frame rate and I don't know, I mean they're not upscaling it, but like even with KOTOR, like a lot of the old 3D games look so so
Crisp.
smooth and so crisp that it's like
Yeah.
it's unnerving. Like, you're back when you're playing it, you're playing on some shitty tube TV that, probably doesn't look as nice as these OLEDs that we have these days, but
Those games look better now. I think going back and playing like Dark Forces, you can't do anything with that engine. It just is a shitty looking
It's tough.
engine. But
yeah, it's
that's
just a product
fake
of
too.
its
It's
time.
fake 3D though. It's not real 3D. It's really just generating pixels and to manipulate to make it look like you're in 3D space. But the games
You
we're
can
talking
make
about,
big. You can
Force
scale
Unleashed,
up.
like it's so cool how they crisp. Yeah, it really does optimize the gameplay.
Mhm.
It does look really crisp on a big bright TV and stuff like that. But yeah, Republic Commando, go check it out. It's
Is that
it's
in
better than
Game
you-
Pass? I don't know.
No.
I owned it.
I
It
think
was
for
it
Game
was
Pass,
on
but-
sale for like $5 recently.
Yeah.
I would
During
say
the
it's
Star
totally
Wars
worth
Day sale.
$5.
I
I would
Circle
say
back. I
any
felt
of the
like-
old Star Wars games are worth $5 if
I
you see
felt
them on
playing it.
sale.
I felt like I was like in the Bad Batch. Like I was part of
Yeah,
the Bad Batch, running around with my own crew, because everybody's got like their stereotypes to them, and
yeah, I'll have
Yeah.
to
You get
I have
the
to check that
sniper
one out.
voices.
That one passed me by as well.
no,
I did revisit another game that I bought for $5 recently, and that's The Force Unleashed. And
yeah,
I remember
Yep.
really liking that game when I played it when it came
I was
out.
just playing it today, the first one today.
And it's fun. It's fun flinging around stormtroopers, and like that you have your skill trees and everything. You're upgrading your force abilities and your powers, and you can find different crystals to slot into your lightsaber, and like it's
Is that the one
fun.
where you start off as Vader on like the first level.
Yeah, you're
Or is
just
that-
murdering Wookiees left and right.
It's actually not fun. That opening level, I didn't.
It's
think
not
was
as
fun.
You're
no.
just overpowered, just like blasting your way. There's your Vader murder adventure as the first level of Force Unleashed.
The big thing
Yeah,
back
right.
then was like this was all in like the
Grabbing
360
shit
era.
and-
Destructible environments, yeah, like
Yeah.
ragdolls, like tons of physics happening. Like you
Mhm.
can pick up anything with force powers
Yeah,
and
it's God
throw
of
it at
War,
the
but you
enemies.
grab shit.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And that was the draw of that game, just causing destruction with your force powers. And the lightsaber combat doesn't feel great. Like usually we want to just use it because the game is like you go down a hallway, there's a bunch of enemies coming at you, and you have a bunch of shit that you can throw at them. And that's pretty much about as far as the gameplay takes it. And then you'll hit like a big boss or something, and you gotta,
Quick time.
Right, quick time events, and then you're fighting like you're hunting down. Vader tasks you with hunting down these Jedi that are hiding on different planets. But yeah, it's fine. It's of that era of games where it's like the bro gamer era for sure. Like the mid 2000s, everything was gray and brown and dingy. And
the levels inside the ship, I thought looked really nice though.
Yeah,
the floor is reflective. It's just high contrast. Like
there
I
was
thought
some
those
cool
levels
stuff.
were good.
And like there's like physics on like the glass when it breaks and stuff. Like some of that stuff actually looks pretty good.
Grabbing a guy and chucking him through the glass, or breaking the glass, like chucking something in the glass and having a whole bunch of stormtroopers sucked out, and then
that is cool.
That is cool, and like that doesn't get old. Same as I know you didn't care for it, but I actually think I prefer the combat in the second one, Force Unleashed 2. And I was they have all these jet fighters going against you, jet troopers rather, and you that game you start off with Force lightning, so you can just zap them, and it's great because like when you keep zapping these guys, they just do that Star Wars like
you zap their jetpack and they
jetpack,
they're all in like what. It was flying away. It was great. Like I was like, this shit never gets old. Like
they did improve.
I don't remember. They improved the late all.
They improved the combat. The story is not good in Force Unleashed 2, and it's a very short game. Like it's like a 5-hour game, and it ends very abruptly. And I'm like, I remember being disappointed when I first played it, but
but like playing that and then like
involved there, right?
You're right. Yeah.
I
think you fight him at the end because that's like. In the Force Unleashed games, that's like the goal, because you're teaming up with Vader and he's training you so that you and Vader can take on Palpatine and basically overthrow him.
This was before Disney bought it, so all this shit was like kind of thrown out. It's not even close to being canon, right?
Well, I don't even believe it's still Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Star Wars is Star Wars.
It's all what if for sure. But like playing that and then like looking at these Fallen Order games and stuff like Survivor and all that stuff, they fixed a lot of it. But I don't know, do they have the ability to let you zap people and like watch them go flying around? I don't know.
Well, you don't have Sith power in in Fallen Order, so in the Jedi Survivor game.
I thought we were kind of going to a new future in Star Wars where like to be Jedi or Sith. Like that's what Luke was saying in The Last Jedi. It's just like it's for the Jedi to say that like this is how you use the Force is vanity. Like there's like nobody should have rules on how to use the Force, and then it's like the good and the bad. There shouldn't be either. There's just you use the Force, use it, but use it smart. And could Force lightning be used for the good? Like
to turn on a light bulb.
That's what I was just gonna say.
A light bulb. Jumpstart your land speeder.
Exactly. You pull over. It's like, my speeder, ran out of juice.
I got you.
There you go.
Zip.
Get a new battery.
You're welcome.
I don't know.
I can see it for sure.
Put that in a game. One of those fucking developers. You can zap somebody's speeder with your
charge it up
for lightning. Yeah, do shit like that. Or like zap lights to turn them on or off on a covert mission. Cool.
They're not that tricky. Have you guys? I'll get into one that I played. Have both of you guys played Knights of the Old Republic?
Of course.
So I have that
game was mind blowing when it came out.
Do you guys? So I've played it, of course, but I've never finished it. Do you guys have
first or the second?
No, neither. I've never played the second. I've played
second was good.
So my experience with this game, I don't know if you guys have games like this that you've started multiple times but just have never finished it before. I think I've started this game at least 3 times, like from the beginning, and gotten to the same point every single time. Like I'm like 20, 30 hours in the point where you actually become a Jedi, and then that's where I stop. I don't know why. Not that it's boring, but like my goal in the game is like, I can't wait to get to the Jedi part where I get a lightsaber, and then I get to that point and I'm like, oh yeah, mission accomplished. I made it, and now I'm done. I don't know why. It's just I think I still have a save though on my because I played it on PC. I think I still have a save on my Steam account that I'll probably end up going back to someday, but I've just
should.
never I've never finished it. Not yet.
Like we were saying with the what was it? Republic Commando. Like this is one of those older ones that looks really nice on Xbox or whatever because everything's smooth, everything's scaled up. I believe this was the one that was full corner to corner, like widescreen too, which is fantastic. And like, I mean, it does show its age because like environments have like walls in them because they can't do the draw distance farther than like a certain like 30 feet or whatever, and everything's
There's
got
no more than like 5 monsters or aliens to
Right.
fight.
Yeah. Everything's very
too many.
sparse. There's not a lot. Tatooine is, there's not a lot to see there anyways, but
You're really playing that for the story, though, right? I mean,
The story is the
and it
thing,
is classic.
and the RPG.
It's classic BioWare.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it does have like the good and the bad choices, and when you feel like you're making Sith choices, you feel like you're just being a dick, just like
Right. It's
screwing
very
people
black
over.
or white.
Screwing people over. There's no real gray area there, but
the
those
cast
are
is good though. Like
so good.
you create the main guy or woman or whatever, but you
Yeah.
create the main character. But you still have like HK 47 is the
Yep, and you got
yeah.
like
Which is a great character to
Ballista
have.
or whatever, the good Jedi that goes with you, and
But you can go on those missions and you can pick who goes with you, like in Mass Effect, I believe, right? Like yeah.
same
So
thing.
cool.
I remember that was the first time I've ever seen that in a game. I'm like, I'm gonna keep this droid with me because he's hilarious.
HK is good. It's tough because he's a bad guy, so I feel like I gotta go. I've been doing a Sith playthrough essentially because every time I play it, I'm always the good guy the first playthrough, and
Yeah.
Yeah, you play a scoundrel.
second time you kind of mess around with people and you start screwing people over and just see what happens. So, that one still definitely holds up. Like the combat, you can turn it down to easy and just rip through it, but
Right.
it does show its age a bit with like like there's no waypoints. Like it just, you have your quests and it says to do this thing and you just gotta fucking figure it out, dummy.
I kind of like that. I like those old school RPG era, like it
just
feels like
takes-
a role playing game. Like you're exploring the world. You have to kind of know the map and where you're going, and know who you need to talk to and what to do next. But eventually you figure it out, and it feels more rewarding than just following a waypoint. Waypoint to
Yeah.
waypoint.
I agree. It is fun because when I was playing, it took me a little while to acclimate myself to the town and go and talk to everybody and figure out what you got to do in this place.
Really
and that
is
place.
like a very good RPG. Like you get into the role of your character and you're talking to people.
Yeah.
And you're getting
walk around. Yeah.
right, and like you're getting involved in like these underground like fights and stuff. I loved like going into like the underground stuff and exploring the shadier parts of like Coruscant and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that
Play a
was
couple
always
games
cool.
of Sabacc
Yeah.
at the bar.
Yes, that is cool. But isn't that what we like about like the Mandalorian? Like he's got his main quest,
Right.
but he's got to go to this place to get the part to do his main quest. But while he's there, he's got like side missions thrown at him that he takes on, and he, and all that stuff. He gets benefits from it, so he adds to it to make him stronger for his main quest. And the same thing with these games. Like I really just got to find like this thing. But while I'm here, I'm talking to local people because I'm trying to figure out how to get to the fucking. And that's what it is. I love that because I was telling you guys earlier before recording that when you pick a franchise like Star Wars and you're like, I'm gonna just play a bunch of games across the years in this one franchise, you really are exposed to technology. Video game, it's like film is film. Like it gets better, CG gets better, all that stuff, but a movie's a movie. But a video game, you can see just the technology has changed over like the years. So when you play one game, just comparing the Force Unleashed games to Fallen Order or Survivor, it's like night and day. Like we have come so far.
Dude, and just
and going even older.
Even in the same like sub series that has been like multiple games over the years, like I'm thinking of like the Jedi series, because the first one was Star Wars like Dark Forces, and then you had Jedi Knight, and then you had Jedi Knight 2, and then you had Jedi Outcast, and then you had Jedi Academy. Like the progression with those is like pretty insane, because those that's over at least like a 5-10 year period that those games were releasing, and then by the time you get to Jedi
Yeah.
Academy, like that's one of the best Star Wars games out there. The Jedi Academy, I have a lot of fondness for.
The
and-
lightsaber fighting was
fun.
good in that, and that
Yeah.
multiplayer was fun. I remember going online and playing that. I think people still play it online. I could be wrong, but you can go on Xbox.
I
and
wouldn't
play
be
that one.
surprised. I recently, again within the last, I don't know, 5 years maybe, they re-released Jedi Outcast on Switch, and I had never played that one, and I played it for the
No
first
shit,
time.
me either.
I played it for the
I don't
first
think I
time on
did.
Switch, and it like recently, and it's actually really, really, really good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's funny. Like Star Wars has a lot of good games.
yeah,
You'd be surprised.
like some of the, like
Even
you
the
said, some
RTS
of,
games. There's some good RTS games.
right?
They even have an MMO RPG game, the Republic or whatever, High Republic or whatever.
Galaxies they had going on for a while, and then they had
Galaxies.
They had
yeah.
the old Republic game,
Old
like
Republic,
MMO.
yeah.
I played that for
Is
a
that
while
still
as
going?
well. Yeah,
Yeah, my brother
I'm pretty sure.
crushed that game.
Like they've released
Yeah.
so many expansions over the years, and I think in the Star Wars video, like history of video games that I was watching earlier, said that the Old Republic was one of the most expensive video games ever produced, which is pretty insane.
That's pretty cool,
Dude, those CG
Yeah.
cutscenes, whatever.
It's like a
look those up if you've never
movie.
seen them. They are so
It's like a mini movie.
so
They're
good.
amazing. It's like Blizzard level,
And like, why couldn't we
Crazy
see some of those
cutscenes.
moments in the movies? Like, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing
And
with that game too. Like you watch those cutscenes and like, this is fucking awesome. And then you play the game. Not that the game's bad, but it's not really anything
It's
like the
MMO.
cutscenes.
Yeah.
Meh.
Right.
Who knows? Before we jump away too far from KOTOR, you got to remember that apparently the remake is still kind of
Yeah.
churning around in the background somewhere. Update
Supposedly.
from a year ago in 2022 that it moved the production from Aspyr to another Eastern European company or whatever, but apparently it's still getting worked on it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Which they had been working on it for 3 years before they announced it. So technically it's been in development for 5
You know who would make
years, so who knows?
that's annoying.
That would
I
be
hate hearing
it'd be
that.
so good though to see have
Bruh.
a Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Unreal Engine 5 fucking KOTOR,
I won't-
dude.
yeah,
Give me
I-
that.
Seeing those environments, yeah, would
I won't
blow
believe
my
it until I
mind.
get something. I mean, we got a cinematic trailer, but I won't believe it actually is gonna come out until I see something,
Yeah.
solid. Like
I'm-
people
I'm
have
the
been
same.
pining for a KOTOR remake for years and years.
Ever since the second one.
But-
It's
I
like
mean,
on
but
that
you
like
see
We're
how
supposed to get a third one.
Resident Evil makes theirs so good. Like you see how people just like
Yeah.
those old Resident Evil games. They put a fresh coat of paint on them. They got the engine running great. I mean, I'll just do the same thing here. Take
It's
the
tough.
Mass Effect engine and put.
You
Star
need the
Wars
right
stuff in it.
studio though. Like you're talking about Aspire. The only thing they're really known for is like putting out like ports of Star Wars games. Like they haven't really developed their own game from the ground up. So it's
Well, it
tough.
got taken
need
away
to
from them.
right, and probably for good reason. But yeah, you need to find the right developer, especially with something so beloved like that. Like they're not going to release it unless they have confidence in it.
And it will sell
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of copies. Well, I mean, tens of millions. We'll say.
Yeah.
You can pretty much guarantee
There's a
yourself
big
that.
there's a big fan base of Star Wars fans that are also gamers, right? I mean, the
Oh yeah, the
Battlefield
crossover there
games doing all right.
is pretty good. Yeah.
We tried playing that Squadrons game, and there's like no one playing that game. And it's
Yeah,
few
we
years
we
old,
went
I
into
guess,
like
but-
2 matches
Solid, though.
and we got paired with like the same guy both times. Like he's the only one on there playing it.
dude.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that guy fucking smoked us. So
He did smoke
I mean,
us. We sucked.
It was like 14
Those-
to 0. We could not kill him. There's 3 of us against one. I'm like, guy, can we learn how to play this game?
Terrible.
But those, like, I mean, the way people talk about X-Wing as being like one of the greatest Star Wars games. You guys play X-Wing
Yeah.
back in the day?
No, I
No,
missed
I
that
did not.
one.
No.
I should have gotten. I still have the old 3.5-inch floppy disks for that. That and
Oh,
TIE
damn.
Fighter still sitting around just in case I get a 3.5-inch floppy drive again one of these days. But
Got a
I
three and
don't
a half
know.
inch
I
floppy
can't
for
throw
you.
those out. What the fuck am I gonna do with them?
Keep them because one day our old asses are gonna end up in some future old folks home. You know what old people do in old folks home? They fucking
fuck?
watch TV because that's what they did when they were little.
I
Maybe they
heard,
do.
I heard there are
Maybe they
STD
do.
factories there.
But dude, we're all
That's
gonna
what,
be
yeah, I've
like
heard that as well.
we're gonna be like we're gonna be gaming it up.
Oh yeah, I can't
We're
wait
gonna
till I'm
do
in a
LAN
retirement
parties.
home. Yeah, just fucking got
Just
all the
give me
time in the
internet
world to
connection,
play
I'm good.
games. Hell yeah.
It's like, well, what did you play back in the day? I like a game called Battlefront 2. Excuse me, but I like it. Oh yeah, I do too. You know, and you're just gonna fucking like plug in.
You're
an
not
old
gonna be able to
Xbox
play
360.
Battlefront 2. Well, maybe the original Battlefront 2, not the new one.
I think that'll be long gone.
I think that yeah, they'll shut that shit down.
Nah, those are good.
Yeah, that's sad. That's what's sad about these. Like, can you revisit some of these games? Like we're revisiting these games. You know,
More recent ones, yeah, because like Battlefront 1, they scrapped the single player because they wanted to get that out. So all they had was the multiplayer component of it. And who is playing the new Battlefront 1? The entire player base probably moved to Battlefront 2. So like that game, what's
there's
left
no
of that
reason
game?
to buy it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
There's no reason to buy it. Exactly. Yeah.
And like I played
know
a
where,
lot
like,
of,
you can
I
buy a
played
single player game,
a decent
but-
amount of that game when it came out.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, the Battlefront games are some of the most beautiful looking visually Star Wars games out
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
They
look
did a
incredible.
Good job.
The last Battlefront 2 is really good looking.
I was telling you guys, like I just sit on the collection screen with all the characters and just look at them, like look at the renders of every character and all the details and everything, just inspecting Boba Fett's armor or some of the ships, and I'm like, it's
And
insane.
they've got every last little scratch down, every little like been fully rotoscoped. Like I think they went to like what is it, Star Wars camp or what? Where's
what the
where does
Lucas Ranch or
Starland.
whatever.
Yeah, thank you. But they took like the things and they put them in the
Starland.
3D rotoscoper and like, so they got every fucking nook and
Yeah,
cranny on
that's-
those guys. Like it's
So cool.
so good.
Is it Lucas Ranch or Skywalker Ranch?
Skywalker Ranch. Yeah.
Skywalker Ranch?
Well, we're never
I like
invited.
Star
We
Wars
can't
World.
even get the name right. Star World.
No. Star World.
Star World.
Like even like but like the old it's weird how like the old Star Wars games, like the pixel based ones, like I grew up on Super Empire Strikes Back, Super,
Yeah,
Super
I
Star
never
Wars.
finished any of them because they
those
were
are
hard.
fucking tough as
Dude,
hell.
they're tough as nails.
They're beautiful though. Like they're
But
great
those
looking
still
games.
look
They're fun.
They still look good. Like some
The
of the
pixel
They-
art is
early
pretty
3D
amazing.
is early
That was
3D
like
is
the
rough. but,
yes.
like
Yeah.
even like the it was like vector based like arcade game that was like back in the 80s or whatever. Like
That was
mean,
very
that
sweet
actually-
looking.
That holds up.
still looks like
Yeah,
and
those
they did
vector
like the
games
trench
hold up as
run.
their-
I mean, it's
Yeah.
lines, but like even like that from back in the day, like there's just so many over the years. I believe it was since
Well-
93. It was been like 119 games. It's ridiculous.
We're missing one of the biggest parts of Star Wars video games.
What's that?
Rogue Squadron, Shadows of the Empire.
No, come on, guys.
We already said
Lego,
KOTOR.
Star-
Lego, yeah.
Lego, Star
Lego's
Wars.
like its
Oh.
own like separate thing.
Dude, they are so good. They are so good. And I remember
They are good though.
when I got the demo of the first one on my Xbox, and I was like, Sarah, I don't know, you want to play this game? I don't know. It's kind of cool. I played like 10 minutes of it. She's like, yeah, I'll play it with you. We're doing co-op, and it's just simple gameplay, right? And she's like, yeah, we should buy it. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll buy it. She really gets into those games. And when we had kids, loves playing Lego games, right? Well, when the new one came out, the last one, the Skywalker Saga, came out, it's like optimized for like Xbox Series X and shit, and it looks really good. I've been playing that before. I mean, I kind of played it a little bit, but I really just got it for the family to play. And man, it is so cool. Like, it is the closest thing you'll get to playing the video game version of all of the movies. They
Yeah.
really do a good job capturing all the moments that you like with like good like gags and
They
jokes
throw the
for, like,
humor
Star
into
Wars
it
fans.
too, which is the
There's
funnest part.
so much. It's like very attractive.
They've
and it's
gotten
really
better and
smooth.
better over the years. When
c-
they first came out, they were just like they didn't have voices attached to them. They just went like me,
Right.
and then
Right.
something happened. And then as they went on, they started incorporating like movie lines into it, and then they would act out
Yep.
the movie lines,
Yep.
and then now they have
Yep.
fully voiced out all sorts of like fully kitted games.
And
It's ridiculous.
it looks like the CG movies pretty
Mhm.
much, for the most part. They look really good.
Looks really
I was
good.
really blown away with the fidelity. I was like the high textures and I don't know.
And it's
I was
it's
really
so
impressed.
smart, of them to do that because, like you said,
And
it's
kids can
simple.
get in and join in on the fun.
It's simple control. It's like
So simple.
it's like
But
quintessential
there's just so
co-op.
much to do.
Yeah, it's
You
the
can do
perfect
anything you want.
co-op game.
And collecting all the characters. Like there's so many characters in Star
Yep.
Wars, and that's what's cool. Like I'm just gonna be Jango Fett on this level because like I'm on Dagobah, but Jango Fett.
And especially the new one, Skywalker saga. They crammed as many characters as they could think of into that game, like obscure characters that you wouldn't even think would be in that game. Like a Praetorian guard you can play as or something. It's just the most random character. Like it's really cool the amount of care that they put into that. But I remember playing co-op with my girlfriend at the time. But like the complete I forgot what it was. But it was the all 6 movies. They released all of them together. I forgot what it was called. The complete saga or complete whatever.
Yeah, I have that as well.
But that was super fun. Really, really fun. And like simple co-op, like someone who doesn't have much experience with games can play it as well. And like even if they're not doing that great,
stress.
you can kind of drag them along,
We'll yell at them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's perfect co-op game.
It scratches everything on it's like it's not like and it's not like boring. It's just like right here. It's just comfort food.
It's fun. It's Star Wars.
Mhm.
It's breezy. Yeah, we're just hanging out. We're
Cozy.
playing a game. Yeah, exactly.
But the new one is on Game Pass too, which is cool.
Yep.
So if you're a Star Wars fan and you're like, I'm not playing a kids game, I have no reason. Like, just check it out. Like you'll really appreciate. I think it's a big love letter from the people who make these Lego games. I think they really do love Star Wars, and I think it's a big fat love letter to the franchise.
The new one is nicer too because they get closer in and they've got like I don't know.
The
They
camera's
refine the
behind the
controls
shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels like you're
More
more
of a
in there
third person. Yeah.
rather than you're looking down from above. But
Yeah.
speaking of franchises, I have a list here I wanted to run through with you guys because
All right.
Star Wars has put out a shit ton of games. This is from GameIndustry.biz.
Oh.
And they're talking about biggest game franchises in the UK, and we'll just extrapolate this out for the United States or whatever. But I have 10 of the biggest selling game franchises in the UK. Where in the top 10 do you guys think Star Wars lines up in here?
If it's
The
in the
biggest
top 10.
selling game franchises in the UK.
So we're talking like Call of Duty,
Hmm.
Grand Theft Auto, Mario, all that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah. I'm
this
gonna
is
say
since
So
95.
I mean, there's
since
so
95.
many Star Wars games
third.
that it's gotta be high. I'll say 4th. I'll go a little bit lower.
Oh, it's actually 6th.
6th.
Oh.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
All right. What's the
FIFA.
top 5? Yeah.
FIFA, Call of Duty, Mario, Grand Theft Auto, and then Lego. Which I don't know if Star Wars Lego
what's
is
the
included
crossover
in
there?
that, but
Yeah.
Star Wars comes in at number 6. Above
Interesting.
Pokemon, The Sims, Assassin's Creed, and Need for Speed.
I wonder
Okay,
if
that's
I
pretty
wonder
good.
if that excludes all of the Lego Star Wars games though, because I know the licensing there is weird because like EA had that exclusive deal with Disney to be the only people making Star Wars
Mhm.
games, but they were still making Lego Star Wars games at that time too.
Because you have to be a soulless person if you're at EA and be like, oh, they gotta stop making those Lego games then. Like, why? They're so adorable. Like they're innocent. People like them. Don't fucking ruin a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's pretty crazy though.
I think it's better with everybody having a shot at Star Wars. It can't be Star Wars.
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely.
Star Wars
We've seen
belongs
it.
to one fucking.
Yeah. No, not at all. I think that
And then
Don't
exclusivity
let
deal
I think
killed
EA's done
all
a lousy job with it, anyways.
creativity for Star Wars games within that 10-year. And like EA didn't produce anything. They had Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2, and then Jedi Fallen Order, which was amazing. But
Respawn.
yeah,
But years, yeah,
published by
like,
EA, but
years
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
that deal didn't really didn't pan out well, and I think it hurt the Star Wars video games for the past
Now
10 years.
we got tons of people working on Star Wars games now, so it's
Yeah,
Well, don't
that deal's gone, so now we're kind of back to the Wild West to whoever Disney wants to license it out to.
don't forget. There's also VR Star Wars, and
There is.
if you have a Quest, you can play a couple games over there. Like Vader Immortal is really good, and Galaxy's Edge or whatever.
That's the only one I've dipped
Those
into.
are
Vader Immortal.
they're
I've
fun.
played.
They,
Yeah,
they,
it is.
They're
It's
as
fun.
good as you expect. I actually think they pushed the graphics on those things too. I'm like, because I've played other games, I'm like, man, these are more of the better looking. At least the character models.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
see where they cut corners,
got
but it's effective for sure. If Vader's standing right in front of you, towering over you.
this is a little intimidating. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Which I still think I want a Star Wars. I want to play that Hollow Chess game. I know that there was something out
There was
for
a Star
iOS.
Wars-
There was like an augmented reality thing or something like that. But
Oh, I thought you were
I
talking
wanna
about
play-
like old Star Wars chess, like
yeah, that's
way
real
back in the
chess.
day.
I want to play the Chewbacca Hollow Chess. Apparently,
Oh yeah.
that would be why
It's
why
called-
hasn't somebody made that?
Dejaric, which is interesting, but apparently it's in the AR kit and you can play it in augmented reality. But I'm really surprised that they haven't done
That's
that.
pretty
yet.
cool. Yeah.
But, I don't know. What else would you guys want to see out of Star Wars? Like we played so many games. We played first-person shooters. We played third-person ones.
I mean, we are owed a bounty hunter game
Yeah,
that was taken away from us. It's like the
1313 is
infamous-
it still pains me to
Look it
this
up.
day.
Yeah, look up that trailer. Now it's been years since, but man, that trailer is just like
When
I
that
need to
came
play this
out,
game.
yeah, I was like, holy shit, this looks incredible. And like
because like, what if you take that dark and grimy Mandalorian underworld and you like make a game out of it? Bounty
The
hunters and
Mandalorian
doing,
should
like-
be a video game.
yeah, because the
I'm sure there will be.
whole concept was like you're a bounty hunter going to floor number 1313 in on Coruscant, which is like the lower level like scum whatever sketchy
Scum and
area.
villainy.
Yeah, scum and villainy area. So which is I love that stuff, seeing the seedy underbelly of Star Wars, of the Star Wars universe. Yeah, I want more games in that. We've said it with shows too. Like, give us more of that stuff. Like Jedi's and Jedi versus Sith. That's all cool and well and good, but give us some of the grimier sides of Star Wars.
How about this? You got a game. You got the company who makes like the team that makes Vermintide, right? If you played Vermintide,
Make a Star Wars Schluter.
where it's like you have it's a
Hang on.
very narrow path, and you just go from one side to the other, and just kind of take out all these like opponents, but you're a ragtag team of totally different abilities. Now, yeah, let's say you have a rookie Jedi, so you're not too powerful, but you have like say you can fend things off and you can push and pull, and then the other person could be like a Boba Fett kind of character, so like maybe they're like one of the Mandalorians. You could have like a scoundrel who's really good with like two pistols, and you can have like a renegade like trooper, sniper character, something like that, and just like go around and doing missions like. Remember Vermintide?
Which
You know
is
what I'm talking about?
basically, I mean, like Bad
I mean,
Batch.
sweet.
Dave brought up the Bad Batch.
Yeah, Bad Batch. Yeah,
Like Bad
kinda
Batch,
yeah.
the video game, but yeah, co-op
Everybody's gotta be different.
multiplayer, and you can each class is different. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Just doing shit like that would be kind of cool. I mean, a shooter would be fine. I think we have enough of those.
That's what Vermintide is. It's a schluty. It's a schluty kind of game. You shoot and you loot.
Yeah, I
That's
don't.
what you do.
Yeah, I just don't know how they would.
But you don't change your gear in that
Right.
game, do you? You just
Yeah, you collect
collect
it and you upgrade
experience.
it.
Do
I think
you?
upgrade it.
I don't remember.
I think so. But have you got either of you guys played? This is the one that's near and dear to me as we're hitting the 50-minute mark here. Jedi Power Battles. It
I
was
always
much better
wanted
back
to,
in the day.
but I didn't. I don't think I've ever played it.
I went back and I played the Game Boy Advanced version of Jedi Power Battles
boy.
for this. And I mean, I remember it being like, I mean, it came out for PlayStation 1 and I think they ported it over to Game Boy Advance because you can tell like some of the frames of animation that they're using are just like pixelized versions of the renders that they use.
Yeah.
But it's like a top-down hack and slash, like I don't know, I want to say like Gauntlet, but like
That sounds sweet.
It is cool. You get Mace Windu, you get Qui-Gon, and you get
Okay.
an Obi-Wan, and they just basically run around and you kind of go through like some of the first couple movies or stuff like that. It's nothing too crazy. It does get a little boring after a little bit because you don't have a huge move set. You don't have a lot of animations and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's funny to go back to those old ones that aren't quite as beautiful as you thought they were. Like, going back to KOTOR was a little different than going back to Jedi Power Battles. But one I still want to actually play is the Nintendo 64 version of Rogue Squadron was one that I got heavily into back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember those
played any of the
looking awesome.
Rogue Squadrons. Yeah, I always wanted to, but like especially the ones on GameCube, but they just those ones just passed me by for some reason.
So I mean, Star Wars is so good because there's like you can make flying games, you can make racing games, you can make fighting games.
Yeah, you could really apply it to any
shooting
genre.
games.
Yeah, we've seen pretty much every genre. RTS, puzzle games. Don't even mention Star Wars Connect or the Star Wars dancing game.
Oh, did they do like a thing in like Just Dance?
Yeah,
it
was like
for Just Dance?
an association, with that, I think. But
you can dance to the Cantina thing.
Right. I do want a like. I mean, we've never really gotten that, and it sounds like this is kind of what Ubisoft is working on, but like that full blown open world like Star Wars RPG. We haven't had that. And like a la like The Witcher or Skyrim or something like that, where you can choose your class
or like
choose your class of character.
You know what you gotta do,
or you start out low. It's kind of like KOTOR. I mean, that's the easy comparison, but you start out like like a nobody, and you can either build yourself up, join the Jedi Academy, or become a bounty hunter, or become a scoundrel, a pirate, a traitor, like any like that would be so cool.
So cool, so cool.
I think Ubisoft does have the actual like manpower to pull something like that off, and we are.
You would think they wouldn't fuck around with the Star Wars license.
Yeah,
right,
for sure. I mean, they got to have something other than Assassin's Creed, and they got to use that engine for something else other than rendering pyramids and jungles and shit like that.
I want it to be good.
They made that Phoenix Immortal game. That was fine, I mean, so like they know how to make big ass worlds.
Right.
It's just that like Assassin's Creed, the stories are always like kind of dumb. Like I'm just playing to explore and kill shit. Like, but
right.
When I meet people, they're like, "Oh, this person's over here. Can you do it?" I'm like, "It's 50 yards away." But yeah, that's fine. Like I'll do it. And it's always like fetch quests. Star Wars, like if you're gonna do Star Wars, you have to really make it for fans. Like make it.
There's a lot that
worth our time.
A lot of art and a lot of like world building and that kind of stuff.
I mean, that's like a a dream game that may or may not ever happen, but like just
like
open-ended open world Star Wars RPG. Like
be creative.
Yeah,
be
it's
creative.
E3
like,
season. Anything's possible in the next month. Anything could get announced.
Anything could
get a new trailer. So I'm always hopeful.
I hope people are like want to go play some Star Wars games because it's actually you're always gonna hear good music. There's always gonna be fun characters. Gameplay usually delivers. Some more than others, but
there's something for kind of everybody. Like depending on what genre. Like we didn't even talk about like I played mobile games for Star Wars. Like they had a Clash of Clans clone on mobile for.
Oh yeah, Angry Birds has a Star Wars.
Angry Birds, dude. We didn't even talk about one of the most beloved Star Wars games out there that people have.
Pod Racer.
Pod Racer, yeah.
I did.
It's a racing game.
Pod Racer for this.
They pulled off a Star Wars racing game, and like they made
that should be around today.
They made a fucking I didn't know this, but they made an arcade cabinet where it was like, shaped like a pod racer, and you had the dual stick controls. Like
That would be sweet.
oh my god, imagine that, having that in your house. That'd be so cool.
That's gonna take up half your living room
right
there.
But yeah.
Hey honey, I brought this home. I got it on Craigslist.
It's a steal, $3,000.
I didn't play that one till recently either, but it still holds up, and it's tough. Like it feels fast, like you gotta have some twitchy movements to.
That one would be good for a remake too, because you could do so much with the environments. Because I played it playing on like Tatooine and whatever other planets there are, and everything's all
textures
like, just
muddy
hallways, and like you don't get.
Well, they should make it for VR, because I'll give you a reason why. Because part of the
incredible
of pod racing is that like you do the hand gestures, like you
like
turn
the manual controls,
But you can also reach into your like compartment and grab bombs and like chuck them at people, because that's what they're always fucking with each other.
Press buttons on your dashboard.
That and like if your ship gets damaged, you have to like pull out a wrench and fucking fix it, like Anakin did.
Yeah, you're trying to. Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
you gotta manage your engine power. Oh, divert.
And you don't want to look away because you're going so fucking fast that you're gonna smash into a rock and get completely destroyed.
But don't limit yourself to just pod racing. You could take it and do like 2-player like things, like you're going on through like the was it Forest Moon of Endor?
And you're like
speeder
bikes,
and you're like one's like maybe like riding around, the other's on the back like shooting and stuff like that. Like
there's so much.
There's so much you could do, but like you don't have to move and start. Like if you could just sit and experience.
That's what I was gonna say. That anything for VR where you're driving a vehicle, like VR is absolutely great for that.
Yeah, and a pod racer needs to happen. I just want to say, pod racing should not have only been in the Phantom Menace. Why was that like a thing?
Pod racing, that was the coolest part of that movie. One of the coolest parts of that movie. But
Darth Maul, Duel of Fates, and that. Put
it on that shitty planet that they went to watch those animals race in the last Jedi.
People.
I thought we were gonna get a pod racing scene.
Dude, people betting on pod races. All the gambling. We could even have a side story of someone getting into a gambling debt for betting on pod races and losing. Getting into all that shit, like the
Witcher put out
of Star Wars.
If The Witcher can put out a Gwent game, why can't Star Wars put out a Sabacc game? There we go.
They could.
That's what's up.
They could. For sure.
You'd be sitting across the table from some dirty Rhodian, wondering if he's gonna blast you under the table.
Can you play? Oh, dude. That would be cool, right? Can you play Sabacc in real life? Like, is it?
Yeah.
Have they figured out how to?
I think it has like rules and stuff.
I played my first tabletop tabletop RPG game. We played Star Wars Saga Edition, and during the winter, because we didn't have a warm place to play or whatever, we played a Sabacc tournament. My brother printed out cards, and we played actual hands of Sabacc for 2 or 3 sessions. And
damn,
it gets interesting, especially when how to play and the rules, where you got to get as close to 21, and you can, I don't know, there's cheating that goes on and all sorts of stuff like that. But
that's awesome.
That's why there should be a Gwent game. There needs to be a Gwent version of Sabacc.
Right.
VR or
a Sabacc version of Gwent. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So much room to grow. Because there are so
many
games out.
Give me there's some games that just go around where you just build shit. Like you found that Lego game where it's just really elaborate, high fidelity Lego pieces that you can kind of put stuff together. But give me SimCity, but not SimCity. Give me Tatooine to build my own planet. Build some moisture farms here, and here comes some thugs in the area. I gotta take out these guys. I hired a Jedi to watch over my town, or whatever. Something
City
cool.
Skylines Tatooine DLC. There we go.
Tatooine or Empire. You're growing the Empire Coruscant, or something like that. Just take some of those locations and just build Star Wars looking towns. I love that's another thing about Star Wars is the worlds are just so cool to explore. Eric, I know you weren't too hot on Force Awakens 2, but they're the second or third level of that game. There's a big like stone natural bridge like kind of thing, and then underneath it there's like a city built there, and it was just like a cool, like I love the worlds of Star Wars. So like give me games where like I can make these things,
Yeah,
like sim builders
definitely.
in Star Wars.
Well, we've been talking about Star Wars games for a while now. I do want to wrap it up with one. It's not not a simple question. I guess it's kind of a hard question. But if you had to choose one Star Wars video game that would be, your quote unquote favorite, what would it be? I know it's a tough one. Out of all of the Star Wars games that you've played, which one
man.
would you choose?
I haven't played
It could
KOTOR in a
be
while, Dave.
could be reasons for nostalgia, or it could be reasons for because it's a really good game. Whatever you want it to be. For me,
I would. Oh,
okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say for me personally, and I don't know. I mean, sure, it's recent, but I think I would have to go with Fallen Order at this point, only because
Really,
it's like the Star Wars game that I've always dreamed of as a kid. Like
It's
nailed
great.
the lightsaber combat, they nailed the story, they nailed the worlds, the world building, the
BD,
characters.
Great.
BD, yeah, best side character companion in video games. Like, I think they, bugs aside, whatever. I haven't played the new one, Survivor, but as I've sat with that game since I played it the first time, and when we replayed it for the show, it just solidified how much I really do love that game, and like it's
great.
everything that I love about Star Wars. So
Yeah, it's either that or KOTOR, and I haven't played KOTOR in forever, and I don't know if I can go back and enjoy it as much.
it's good. It's so good, Brandon.
it is really
It's
good.
still good?
And I gotta finish it.
Okay.
The only thing that gets annoying is when
Okay.
you're talking to like aliens and they keep repeating the same line of alien speech over and over. Every time you talk to them, they say something. It says something different at the bottom, but they go "unta bunta koto," and then they go to the next line. It's "unta bunta koto."
Okay.
It gets really grating there, but yeah, I'm with you. Knights of the Old Republic, because you get like there's so much in there between stuff with the party members that you can swap out, being light side, dark side, all the different
Right.
side quests and shit.
And it looks pretty good on new consoles. You're saying they
Yeah,
like it's
that's-
optimized.
It's definitely optimized.
Okay,
It
great.
runs
I know that's
silky
an old one.
smooth.
I'll have
Okay.
to wait for that remake. See what happens with that. Can't wait.
Man, you guys want me to play some Dark Forces based on what people were saying in the comments. I do want to go back and play some Dark Forces. I do want to. We didn't
it's
talk about TIE
old,
Fighter and
man, but-
X-Wing, but
Yeah, there's
those ones are
so
still
many
good.
so many games. So many good ones, some not so good, but overall Star Wars video games have had, a storied and varied
ups
history.
and downs. Yes,
Lots
a
of
lot
ups and
those.
downs. Lots of fond memories, even for some of the not so good games. And I think that's just, the magic of Star Wars, the magic of the franchise.
Don't forget Star Wars board games too. We didn't even get into that.
We don't have
That's
to
a
talk
whole-
about
That's
that.
a whole
No.
nother podcast. Brandon rolling his eyes. Board games make me
You said
Oh,
another
board
podcast,
games.
it's
Let's
not
talk
this
about
one.
board games.
Oh,
That's why
here's
they call
our
board
second
games, 'cause you get
segment,
bored.
Star Wars board games.
Boring.
Okay. Well,
Such a bro gamer.
we will wrap it up, Act 2 here, and come back after this little breaky break with a little gamey game right after this.
I can't wait.
And we are back with act number 3.
Hey.
And we are going to play Brandon's favorite game, a little Star Wars Jeopardy.
Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen here. This might take a second to set up, but
Ooh, I'm excited.
hope
This
this
is the
works.
first time I've gotten to play Jeopardy.
Hope this doesn't crash our stream, but we shall see.
Dave's
I get to be
super
on the other end
excited,
of the
I'm sure.
Jeopardy shtick.
All right, now I'm gonna switch my
You gotta have the
layout here. All right, not too bad.
Yeah, that's what it is.
as the board populates.
And then Eric has to go through the category names.
All right, hold on one second.
Category 1, Tatooine.
Just some stuff on my end really quick.
Potables.
You know your Jeopardy, Brandon.
That's what she said.
Did you guys ever watch Jeopardy?
Absolutely, all the time.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it. It was like
Wheel
Try
of
to keep
Fortune and Jeopardy.
Try
yeah,
to keep it
Wheel
in the
the double
rotation
block,
still.
the block of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. That was like
Although
a
I
highlight
saw,
of my evening.
I think I saw that Pat Sajak's daughter is replacing Vanna White.
Oh, really?
Could be
Vanna's
wrong, but I think I just
still
saw
a
that.
good-looking lady, and she's like in her 60s.
Dude, she's like 70. And I'm sorry.
How old is she? Well, we're googling it
She's
now.
up there, dude. She's up there.
She's
Vanna's
up there.
66.
Yeah.
66. She
Yeah.
aged like Cindy Crawford, which is she never aged.
Sure. Well, she's aged, and it's good for
Yeah.
her for having a long run. But I feel like it's an insult
Still,
that
yeah.
like his daughter's replacing. Hey, my daughter's
Nepotism.
young, replacing you. Get out of here.
She can. Well, they made the big switch from like turning
There we
the
go.
letters to like pressing the button on the letters to turn things. That must have been a big. How do you do? Why can't I be Vanna White? See this fat 40-year-old guy just getting up there and pressing buttons.
Dude, what? Yeah, why does it gotta be a attractive woman? Why can't I be a
Why can't I
a
just be
guy with, like a dad bod?
Yeah.
No.
bod's
Hey
alright.
Dave,
Oh,
can
yeah.
you hit? Can you hit? Yeah. Boop. Nope. Sorry, not that one. Sorry.
Oh, whoops! I'm just taking a
Alright,
bite of my
hold on,
sandwich as I'm
folks.
Yeah.
pressing the buttons.
Sounds like
Taking
a
a-
Saturday Night Live skit.
Let's do
There you
that.
go. Need
Can
to
you
get
hold on?
No, I'm vamping time for you. Don't worry. You got
Yeah,
it. We can
I'm
talk about
just
all
trying to
sorts of
figure
stuff.
out stuff on my end here really quick.
I don't want to Google Star Wars
Nick-
Jeopardy questions in the meantime.
Don't look up anything.
Oh,
Don't look up
Look up.
anything.
And
give
don't
you
be
a Star Wars
cheating.
doodle. Brandon, what's a Jedi's favorite car?
Oh yeah, Star Wars jokes.
What is a Jedi's favorite car?
A Force Fiat.
Toyota.
Yes, Brandon. Good job.
I like my
I
answer
expect you
better.
to get that one.
What did you say, Eric?
I said a Force Fiat.
Oh,
Okay, I
Ford,
can
yeah.
see that.
I was going Force, like Ford, you know.
What do you call a robot that takes the longest route?
I don't know.
R2 detour.
Ah.
Nice.
Ah.
All right, I think I'm ready. Can you
Alright.
guys still see my screen if I'm moving around?
yeah.
Yeah, I see your
Yeah.
face.
Good. I mean, like
See everything.
the
Yeah. Yes.
the
Yes.
board.
yeah.
You see the board. Okay, you see the categories here.
No, hold
Yes.
on a second. Let me pull up this. Brandon, you have a
I
screen
can't
shared?
speak for Dave.
I am
I'm just-
sharing my screen.
Yeah, I can see.
David, you must watch my stream.
Oh, I'm watching.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
Can
good.
see the board?
Yes, I see the
Yeah.
board.
All right,
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right, we are ready to begin. Star Wars Jeopardy. So we have 4 categories here, only 20 questions. We have Star Wars heroes, Star Wars villains, Star Wars trivia, and Star
Okay.
Wars general. I have not
What's the
vetted these.
difference?
I have not vetted these questions at
Uh-oh.
all. So we're
Oh
going
my
in
god!
Yeah,
You can't even
completely
let that
blind.
damn things out. It's gonna be like this guy or who is green? Yoda. Who is Yoda?
I didn't make disclaimer. I did not make this myself. I thought about making
Okay,
my
well,
own, And maybe next time I
That
will,
takes
so
some
we
work.
can do like, a super short one. But 20 questions, not too bad. We'll fly through them. But Brandon, thinking of a number between 1 and 100, what is it?
1.
Okay, Dave.
99.
Oh, all right.
Okay, technically Dave's closer.
What was it?
Was
It
it
was
51?
52, actually.
Yes.
I was gonna say, Dave. Are you gonna say 2?
Oh,
All
you
right.
could add a little spice to it. I want to win all the
Dave's-
podcast points.
Dave's up on the board first. Where are you going?
What's the difference between Star Wars Trivia and Star Wars General? Do we know?
Don't ask me. Like I said, I did not vet this quiz
I
at
will-
all.
I will take Star Wars Heroes for 100.
You got it. Who was Luke Skywalker's father? Obi-Wan Kenobi or Darth Vader?
Who is Darth
Eric,
Vader?
you're killing me.
Darth
Who in the
Vader.
world?
Is it
Who would get this wrong?
who is Darth Vader?
Yes,
That's 100 points on the board for Dave. All right, where are you
Oh
going
my
next?
God.
I'm gonna go Star Wars Heroes for 300.
For 300, all right.
Oh, whoa, slow down,
I'm gonna
Dave.
jump around.
What character was played by Ewan McGregor and Alec Guinness? Obi-Wan Kenobi or Anakin Skywalker?
Who is Obi-Wan Kenobi?
That
I'm
is
just gonna do a
correct.
clean sweep of the entire board
Oh,
I know.
God.
before you even get
We'll
to
see
play.
how many you get.
We'll go. I'll just go to Star Wars Trivia for 300.
I should have vetted this, but this is fun. 300, you got it. What was the name of the original? What was the original name of A New Hope? Star Wars or Star Wars 1? God.
I'm gonna go with what is Star Wars 1 or Star Wars the first one, Star Wars.
Just
No
Star
one.
Wars.
Just Star Wars.
That is correct.
Okay. Star Wars 1.
Yeah, I
would've
was like,
been cooler.
David, what are you
Whoa,
saying
whoa.
right there?
No, I was reading it while I was talking. Star Wars Trivia 400.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest you don't look at the screen. No more ors. I'm not gonna say the ors. Okay, this is making it too easy.
Hold on. Let me.
Because this or thing is just like whatever. But this is
Pretty sure you can
clearly
get
a
those
very
answers
easy
right
quiz.
there.
But anyways, all right, we'll go Star Wars Heroes 400. Who was Han Solo's co-pilot?
William Alfred Chewbacca.
I like the or
Chewbacca
or Wicket.
or Wicket.
Oh yeah, Wicket. Somebody's fucking grandma write these fucking things.
I'm
like,
sorry,
"I've
guys.
seen
This is a terrible quiz, but we're rolling.
This
with
is
it.
horrible. I hate Jeopardy. This
This
is why I
is
hate you.
horrible.
You guys
you
always
gotta
do
vet
this.
him.
You gotta yeah.
It's all right. We're learning. We're learning. All right,
Give
Dave.
me-
Where are you going?
Hey,
next?
the
Star Wars-
good news is it's gonna go over fast.
That's right.
Star Wars General for 500. Big bucks.
Who was Kylo Ren connected to the Force with?
To the Force with. Wrong use of the word.
Yeah,
to
they got a
right there,
typo.
but
Yes.
You get bonus
Uh,
points for fixing the
No
grammar.
ors for the $500
who is Ray?
Who's
Okay.
Ray? Is that your final answer?
Who is Ray Skywalker?
Oh.
Wow, Dave,
Ray is
how are you
correct.
doing this? You're like setting some kind of record or something like that. With this
I'm
trivia.
Dave's
really
gonna
good
sweep.
I'm really
Dave's
good at
gonna sweep.
Jeopardy.
You should be on the TV show.
Star Wars Trivia for 5.
Oh, God. Which episodes were
Let's
part
see if
of
Dave
the
can do it.
original trilogy?
What are 4, 5, 6?
Is that
Or
your
what
final
are
answer?
Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6. You're good.
The answer is what is episodes 4, 5, 6?
4, 5, 6.
All right, where are you going next?
Star Wars Villains for 5. I'm gonna get all the points here.
Who is Moff Gideon?
Why is that?
I don't know, like
Why is he giving you the answer?
I don't know. Who
Uh,
was he?
Why are you gonna answer the question with a
I don't-
question?
what is like an Imperial
Who is the
general?
bad guy in Mandalorian?
I'll say what is an Imperial general sympathizer. I don't know. I don't know how to answer this.
This might be the first incorrect one. Let's see. Imperial leader. I'm gonna say that's incorrect, Dave. Over to Brandon.
Oh,
Watch I get this one
Damn it.
wrong.
What category are you picking?
All right. I don't know. Star Wars villains for 100. He'll start her easy. Get those out of the way.
Who's Kylo Ren's father?
Kylo Ren's father, if he's Ben Solo, it's Han Solo.
That is correct. That took you a little longer than I thought it would.
I'm just gonna.
Oh,
sit back and relax for
because
a
I had
little
to think like, well, it depends. Like, I don't know when he was Kylo Ren. Did he say
bit.
like
I mean,
Snoke was his father?
did he say
know?
I am your father? I don't know. He never said that, so we don't know for sure. Maybe he was adopted from the Solos.
You don't remember the line in Force
No.
Awakens that says, "I love you, Daddy, but now I must kill you." Dead.
He said, "Daddy."
That he
I'm
was
just-
Ben Solo is the. I don't know if he's like he's not my father. I'm Kylo Ren. Anyways, all right.
Thinking too hard about it. What's your next category?
Star Wars Trivia 100. Star Wars Trivia 100.
Should be going for the big bucks here. What is Kylo Ren's mother? Okay, who is Kylo Ren's mother?
She is
Leia Organa. Who is Leia Organa?
The choices were Princess Leia or Queen Amidala, so incorrect. No, I'm just kidding. That is correct.
Okay, I was gonna say, damn. All right, fine. Let's go. Star Wars Heroes for 500.
All right, here we go. Who plays young Anakin in Star Wars Episode 1?
Who is Haley Joel Osment?
Incorrect. Jake
I wouldn't have got
Lloyd.
this one either.
Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd was the actor. All right, Dave.
Uh,
Back over to you.
right.
Star Wars Heroes for 2. Let's close this one out.
Why do we have -3? Oh, because I got 5.
Who is Luke
Damn.
Skywalker's sister?
Luke Skywalker's sister, who is Princess Leia.
That is correct. Princess Leia. All right,
Yeah. Star Wars
you going?
trivia for 2.
for 2. Okay. In Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber was green. What color was it in the first 2 movies?
What is blue?
That is correct.
It was a nice light chartreuse blue.
I think that's more cyan, not blue.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, you're right
you know.
there.
Where you...
Go trivia for 4.
This is funny. What was the original name of Return of the Jedi? This is an actual tough one.
It was something nastier. Was it what is Revenge of the Jedi?
Revenge of the Jedi is correct.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't the Emperor Revenged.
The Emperor.
I was
What
like,
the hell is
Revenged.
that?
I don't know if
Emperor
Dave's
Revenged
looking at
is
the
good. I
choices,
like
but
No, I got a Chrome window up over
well,
my.
you got it
thing.
right. Good job. All right, where are you going next?
I'm impressed you got that.
Star
That
Wars
was
General
good.
1.
That was good.
Star Wars General
'Cause
100.
They renamed it because they didn't want the Jedi's to sound like bad guys.
Right,
Um,
yeah, I can see.
Who killed the 4 Jedi Masters, Saesee Tin, Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and Agen Kolar?
Poor Kit Fisto. Never even Jedi Master never even got his saber up, and he got murdered by who is Emperor Palpatine.
Oops.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yes. Yeah, he just gets stabbed right in the back and drops.
He doesn't even. Yeah, he
I
got
hate
4
that
guys
scene.
there, and they.
I
Yeah.
hate it
they
so,
don't
so
do
he's
much.
like,
it.
Emperor's about to go against 4 fucking guys, and it's just like it's so
Jedi
stupid.
Masters, and he just like wah, 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 and
It's
they're
so
done.
stupid. I'm like, I get it. He's an old guy and he's an old actor, but come on.
He makes that great face in there though too.
He does. He does.
Dude.
Oh,
Star Wars General for 2 is good.
For 2. Which Jedi had a purple lightsaber?
Well, that would be who is Mace Windu.
That is correct.
I hope
Samuel
this
L.
is
Jackson.
the last time we ever play Jeopardy on the
I'm gonna
show.
make my
Oh,
own the
no.
next time we do. Don't
You're
worry.
good. General for 3.
Who has written the music for all the Star Wars movies so far?
Who is John Williams?
Correct. John Williams or John Barry? I don't even know who John Barry is.
I like John Barry better. Sounds like a sexier version of John Williams.
All right.
All
All right,
yeah,
where are we
electric
going?
Star
guitar.
Wars General for 4.
What fatal flaw did the rebels exploit to destroy the first Death Star?
What is is it an exhaust vent? What is an exhaust vent?
An exposed thermal exhaust port.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Damn. I don't think I would have got that. So there's like 4 legit questions. The rest of them are fucking
Yeah,
for kids.
they're terrible.
Villains for 2.
Villains for 2. All right. Who said, "I think it's time we demonstrated the full power of this station"?
Oh. Is it Tarkin or Vader in that first one? I'm gonna say, who is General Tarkin?
That is correct. Well,
Yeah.
well,
Moff
you said
Tarkin.
General Tarkin.
That's true.
I don't
Take-
know.
take
Might
it
be
off.
a
No,
stickler.
Take it off.
I mean,
That's technically not correct. You gotta get his rank. You gotta
He
get
wasn't
that.
a general. He was a Grand Moff. That is
That is
that is true.
That is true. Brandon, you have a chance.
oh, gee, maybe I can make it into the positives. All right, fine. Star Wars Villains 300.
Oh, wait, do we have a final Jeopardy question?
I was gonna come up with a final Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Star Wars Villains 300. All right, Brandon. Who was Senator Palpatine?
What do you mean? Who is?
Who was?
Who was Senator Palpatine? Who was Senator Palpatine? As in
I could give you
Darth Sidious.
I could give you the or if you want.
No, I don't need an or.
Okay.
Senator Palpatine is Darth Sidious. Who is Darth Sidious?
Yes, we would have also accepted the Emperor, but that is correct.
Oh,
Man,
Am I wrong?
No, you're not
rules.
wrong.
Said the Emperor.
It's the technical answer was the Emperor, but it's
Sheev Palpatine?
it is Sheev Palpatine. All right, last
Sheev.
question. Star Wars villains
Shitty first name.
400.
Or Sheev?
Who said, "From here you will witness the final destruction of the Alliance and the end of your insignificant rebellion"?
Sounds like something that who is the Emperor? Because that's what they want to roll. But say it again.
Who said, "From here you will witness the final destruction of the Alliance
Yeah,
and the end
yeah,
of your insignificant rebellion"?
Yeah, it's the Emperor. Who is the Emperor from the end of the Return of the Jedi?
That is correct. All
He's
right.
rubbing Luke's nose and shit.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
All right. Good.
Return of
Good
the Jedi is a
job,
great movie.
boys. Well,
Yeah.
Dave has 2,300. Brandon has 400. But we're going to come up
Damn.
with a final Jeopardy question
Ooh, I'm excited.
so that Brandon has a chance to win.
Oh, pity.
Or, potentially,
I'm betting it all, Brandon. I'm betting it all. Because I know that I'm going to get it right.
well, first I got to look up a question, but it's going to be a good one. So put your
Just make it
wagers,
up.
put your wagers in now. I'm assuming, Brandon, you want to wager it all.
I am. Well, I'm not gonna, but I'm putting in all 400 credits.
All 400 credits? All right.
Yep.
Excuse me. Actually, this
There
is
you go.
a good one that my my mom sent me on Star Wars Day.
Okay.
All right. The final Jeopardy question is who in the Star Wars film franchise was the first to say, "May the Force be with you"? Put in your answers now.
Who is which character is first to say
May the
in the
Force be
entire
with you.
franchise?
Yes. Not chronologically.
Right, just like first time it's
historically. Yes.
as front films were released.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a little toughy one. I'm gonna bake my noodle. Because the obvious answer is that one.
Doo,
All right.
doo. I need the Jeopardy music. Doo, doo. Brandon, you'll have to edit this in. Doo, 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 doo,
I'm writing down who is. Okay,
doo,
sure.
doo, doo.
Oh yeah. All right. I think I did.
Do you both have your answers and wagers?
Yes. Yes.
Brandon, I know you're probably just gonna wager it all. Dave, do you have your wager?
Yeah, I just wagered it all. I don't
Oh
care.
boy! All right.
I want all.
Oh,
the
So this is
I want all
right,
the podcast
final
points.
Yeah, final. All the podcasts. Yeah. So whoever gets this right or wrong, you could both get it wrong and both go down to 0 and nobody wins.
Now I'm wondering if I'm wrong. All right.
I want to cross it out and leave myself $1. 1 credit left.
No, you already made your wagers.
Nah,
You can't.
I know I
you
did.
can't change.
I did.
All right. Let's see. All right, we'll go with Brandon first. Who
I don't want to show mine.
Who do you think
Yeah.
said "May the Force be with you" first?
Am I wrong?
Let's see what Dave said, and then I will reveal the
I
answer.
went with Ben Kenobi.
First guess.
Brandon, congratulations! It was Han
Really?
Solo. Yes, sir.
Why do I think that is?
Why
He
does-
mockingly says it.
Yep.
He
it
mockingly
is Han
says it.
Solo.
I know in like Empire Strikes Back. Like, hey
How
Luke,
does he know to
may the Force
say
be with
it?
you.
How does he
Sing in the
know to
beginning
say
of
it?
Empire Strikes Back. I couldn't think of anybody saying it in
Okay,
A
just
New
watch the
Hope.
video. Wait, I'll get back. There we go.
May the Force be with you.
That's no, yeah, that's not right. It is definitely call it Han Solo. Yes. May the Lord be with you. Only said twice a name
No.
by General Han Solo.
General Han Solo, because it's the end of.
The end of
It's
Emperor.
it's in
or
the beginning of
Empire
Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when
Whoa,
Luke
whoa,
is
whoa,
This
walking
is
whoa.
away.
misleading.
Nope. It is not.
What?
I googled it. It says that it is
Controversy.
General Dana, who is the person that leads the attack on the
At-
Death Star thing.
Right.
The old dude with
I
the
was
gray
wondering if
beard.
Mon
really?
Mothma said it or something like that.
Okay. Well,
Don Dana
And may the
ended
Force
his,
be with you. Right?
ended
You
his
gotta-
briefing with the now favorite
may
line.
the
Not
Force
long
be with
after Han Solo said it to Luke, which is a subtle way to show his character growth.
Yeah.
As
All
someone
right.
who
shit.
didn't believe
I was
in the
wrong.
Force. and
We
not
were
a
both
thing.
wrong.
Sorry, Mom.
This whole thing is a bust. Nobody wins. Nobody goes to
Everybody
space
has 0
camp.
points.
Again,
Everybody has
this
zero
is why
space camp.
Jeopardy
you
sucks.
lose.
I get participation trophy at least.
You lose. I lose. We all lose. But it was still fun. Did you guys have
Ben
fun?
Kenobi. It's not going to be Ben Kenobi. I had a blast, Eric. I want to play Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Jeopardy.
Now I'm the annoyed one.
It's all right. Well, I hope we actually have like 3 viewers right now, so surprisingly, I hope anyone who was watching
that.
enjoyed that train wreck. Next time I will make sure to vet the Jeopardy if we ever do Jeopardy again. Or
JeopardyLabs.com. It's a solid site. They have a Jeopardy board for everything. So I highly recommend that site for fucking around. And
we just got
Good stuff.
a comment over in chat by Driving D-Van. He says, "Okay, I'm here now. Please start the podcast over." You just
Sorry,
missed
D-Van.
a beautiful, beautiful round of Star Wars Jeopardy. It was a sight to behold. Brandon had a blast.
As
Nobody
always.
won. Everybody lost. I lost. Brandon lost. Dave lost. We all are worse off for it. So let's end this. let's end the podcast. Well, yeah, I'll wrap us up here. If you want to follow us, you can follow us at Nomads of Fantasy, Twitter and Instagram. You can join our Discord, the nomadsfantasy.com/Discord, if you want to chat with us there, like the fine folks in chat, driving D-Van. I love chatting with you in the Discord. You can watch we do a video version of the podcast now on twitch.tv/nomadsoffantasy and youtube.com/@nomadsoffantasy. You can catch the archives there if you're interested in that. We also have our merch store up if you go to the nomadsoffantasy.com and click on that store link. Is there anything else? Anything I'm missing?
Utini,
and may the force be with you, as General John Donna, whoever said it.
Don
first.
Donna.
Yes, General
That
Don
grizzled
Donna.
old rebel.
That'd be a
Rebel.
sweet T-shirt. Having like "May the Force be with you" and then doing like hyphen and then John Donna.
John
Yeah.
Donna.
People be
Class-
like, "What's that about?" And like, must not be a Star
That's
Wars
the
fan.
first motherfucker that said it.
First person who said that.
Pretty
Duh.
impressive. He's a
Yes.
he's a trendsetter.
Yes. Well, this was fun. It was fun talking about Star Wars video games. It was fun chatting with you guys. Even Jeopardy was fun, even if it was a bust. But until next time, as always, safe travels, Nomads.
Peace out, Nomads.